ओम वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभा निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा श्री गणेशाय नमः। ओम गं गणपते नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुरेव परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। ध्यानमूलं गुरोर्मूर्तिः मंत्रमूलं गुरोर्वाक्यम् पूजामूलं गुरोर्पदं मोक्षमूलं गुरोर्कृपा। ओम नमो नारायणाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय ओम नमः शिवाय। श्री हनुमान जी महाराज की जय। ओम नमो हनुमते भयभंजनाय सुखं कुरु फट स्वाहा। ओम नमो हनुमते भयभंजनाय सुखं कुरु कुरु फट स्वाहा। ओम नमो हनुमते भयभंजनाय सुखं कुरु कुरु फट स्वाहा। ओम दिव्यलिंगाय नमः ऊर्ध्वलिंगाय नमः आनंदलिंगाय नमः द्वादश ज्योतिर्लिंगाय नमो नमः। ओम ऐं ह्रीं क्लीं चामुंडाये विच्चे दुर्गे दुर्गे रक्षिणी ठ ठ स्वाहा। श्री दुर्गाये नमः। ओम ह्रीं। Welcome to Nitya Satsang. Today is the 17th of September 2025. I want to offer my prostrations, Anantakoti Namaskara, Anantakoti Pradikshana, Anantakoti Pushparpanam, Anantakoti Danvat Pranam, prostrations to all the great sages who are present on the planet today, Santa Parampara, and to Bhagwan residing in the heart of every single being, Ishvaraha, Paramakrishnaha, that same one Paramatma that is present everywhere at all times in all places. Bhagavan is only one. God is one. With that one realization, one tattva, ekameva dvitiyam brahma, with that bhavana, we are continuing our exploration, presentation, and exposition on that border point between that mumukshu state and mukta state. Mumukshu meaning one who is a pure mumukshu, wanting liberation, wanting God realization, Atma Paramatma ka sakshatkar, wanting that realization. And what is that border point? What does that look like? And this state of a jivan mukta, of a liberated being. So all of our discussions and all of our presentations until the end of this year, maybe into next year also, will just be on this only. And then, of course, the 10th bhakti, prema bhakti, prem lakshana bhakti. That is also the height of bhakti. That is gopi bhakti, that is Hanumanji ki bhakti, that is the bhakti of the highest level sages. So that bhakti is non-directional, as we have also stated. Now, there are many ways to approach this border point. We have been looking at it for the last 2 weeks or so, 2.5 to 3 weeks or so on this. Today, we will look at this from an additional perspective, because there's so many amazing ways to understand this. Specifically, we'll be looking at something called Tanmayata. Tanmayata is what? What is that? I'll show you some of my notes on this here in just a second here as I load this. Tanmayata is that state of being pervaded by God. Tanmay Banjana, that's what it's called. So give me just a moment here. I'll find the right page here for you. This is on page 35 of this document. So give me just a moment here. Hold on a second. Well, we were almost there. All right, here it is. You can see it here actually on the screen. And if you're using your phone, you may want to turn it horizontally if you want to see it a little bit bigger. I'll try to magnify this here for you. Let's be very clear about the definition of what is meant by Tanmayata. It comes from the word tat, that meaning God, Bhagwan, the absolute consciousness. And maita means being pervaded by. It's the state in which the devotee's entire consciousness is suffused by the divine. Ye sthiti hai, ye mukta ki sthiti hai. Try to understand, let's be very clear. It is where bhakti has increased to such an extent where the vasanas are obliterated completely. Yes, all of the asad vasana, all of those internal desires of all kinds have become transmuted. They have changed, where our mental consciousness, the thoughts, emotions, memories, desire, and energy, TEMDE, that we talk about in our Angel Wing program, these 5 are completely suffused. Suffused means they are absorbed by Paramatma, by the divine. This is an English word that we use with a capital D, divine, Divyata, Parabrahma, Bhagwan, any word you want to use, Shiva, no problem. Aapki jaisi ichha, wo tattva to ek hi tattva hai. So that tattva is infused inside the bhakta. So it is not, meaning tanmayata is our state. That's where we want to reach. When we are doing bhakti, we are bhaktas, we are mumukshus, we are sadhaks, whatever path we're in, whatever tradition we're in, within Sanatan Dharma, Sikh tradition, Jaina tradition, any tradition. Bhagwan ki bhakti, Bhagavad tattva ek hi hai. Any tradition. Jewish tradition, Christian tradition, Islam tradition, Jobi tradition. As long as there is a belief that there is Paramatma, theistic belief, that is called a bhakta then. Then you can go in whichever way. I don't want to go into all the differences and all that here, but we want to talk about simply that the bhakti inside is only one. That is love. Love is just love. It has nothing to do with any particular group or anything like that. Prem to ek hi tattva hai. So now in that prema tattva, in that prema bhav, there is tanmayata. This is our subject today. Right? So in this tanmayata, our entire consciousness, the bhakta's entire consciousness, meaning our mental activity, emotional activity, memory related activity, our desires, ichha, jnana shakti, ichha shakti, kriya shakti, ichhas, all kinds of energies within are all infused, suffused by God. They're connected to Paramatma continuously. This is how the Jivan Mukta lives. Isko Jivan Mukta kehte hai. Amazing. So it is not simply an intense focus or emotional absorption. Yes, there is intense focus, but that is during sadhana time. When we're doing sadhana, we have satsang at our home, or we're doing for puja, archana, we sit for bhajan, kirtan, whatever sadhana we're doing in the 9 forms of bhakti, there's focus in that. For some period of time, maybe 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, sometimes for longer periods of time. That is focus. That is during sadhana time, in the 9 forms of devotion. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Padasevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Atma, Nivedanam. Okay, that should be clear. That is called intense focus. And even in that intense focus, there is emotional absorption, the emotion, thoughts and emotions. We get absorbed. We feel it. Many times we get so much absorbed inside bhakti. What do we want? We just want to be in that bhakti. We get lost inside. These are good states. Very good. Very nice. But tanmayata is even beyond that. It is the Jivan Mukta state. It is Prem Lakshana Bhakti. Please remember, Prem Lakshana Bhakti is the 10th Bhakti beyond sadhana. And the Jivan Mukta state is no longer stuck inside the structure of the ahankar and the vasanas anymore, has become liberated. This is our aim. And so there's a approach to be taken through Guru Kripa, that वो जो गुरु की जो स्थिति है, बड़े बड़े जो संतों की जो स्थिति है, वो ही हमारी स्थिति है. ऐसा मानना, to believe that intensely, will take us directly into this tanmayata state. If we want that, it can take us directly into there by resonance. We've talked about it now for over a week or so on this point, right? So keep that in mind. You can look at the last 10 recordings on this so you can remember what that is like. Now let's go further. Let's be very clear. Tanmayata is not simply an intense focus or emotional absorption. It is a fundamental shift in identity. This is very powerful. Absolutely amazing. I'm going to bold this for you so you can see it actually. It is a fundamental shift in identity. In what sense? What do we mean by that? That the reflex of the ahankar no longer stamps experiences as mine. I'll explain this. These are very deep lines, so we'll explain step by step. Don't worry. That the ahankar no longer stamps experiences as mine, but allows each perception, each thought, and each action to be transparent to that. Tat tvam, that tvam is that. Let's understand this line very carefully. First of all, what is our identity? Sachin will say, this is Sachin, these are my thoughts, these are my feelings, these are my desires, these are my, all kinds of things are there. This is part of the psychological identity. Do we need that identity? Yes. Yes, we need that functionally, interactionally, transactionally. Vyavaharika satyam. Yes. Up to that point, absolutely. Otherwise, we would not be able to live. Somebody's lost their mind. No, it's not like that. But the reflex of the ahankar is changing its activity. First of all, what is ahankar? The word ahankar in Sanskrit means the ego maker. Kar means to make. Aham, the maker of the I. That is called ahankar. The I, the me, the appropriator, the ego maker, the I, me appropriator. वो एक शक्ति है भगवान की for each jivatma. Each jivatma is given aham vritti to experience maya. Again, this is another, very long discussion, how that happens. We would need 10, 15, 20, 30 hours to understand this point. How this ahankar actually opens up. Is it created? It's a very profound subject, but in the time we have, I'll try to explain it to you in very simple way. That how many jivatma are there? Infinite number. Let's be clear on this point. Let's talk about that a little bit here. How many jivatma are there? Ananta jivatma hai. The jivatma are infinite. The substance is the same as the Paramatma. But it is not that the Paramatma has degraded into the bound jivatma. That is not so. There is not a single Tattvagnan anywhere that says that is what has happened. If that has happened like that, then the Paramatma is bound in Agnan. That cannot be the case. That cannot be the case. Jivatma are within the realm of Maya. Bhagavan ki Maya. Why? There is no answer to that question. Why? They are like that. It is from Anadi time, from beginningless time. It is called Anadi Agnan, or sometimes it is called it is a state where the Jivatma wants to experience Maya. There are some ways that Chaitanya Mahaprabhuji and Ramanujacharya and others have talked about why the Jivatma is in Maya. But whatever the reason is, it doesn't matter. What matters is that Jivatma is Vimukh from God. Vimukh and Sanmukh. 2 points here. Jivatma is Vimukh, means turned away from Paramatma into the sansar. And so when that Jivatma is turned away from Bhagavan, that is called Vimukh. And that is into the vortex of the material world. So that turning away and experiencing the I, that I am Sachin, this is my body, I feel I am the body, which is not true actually. But that sense that I am the body and everything else that goes along with that, and with all the Jivatma, with all the different beings, that sense of I is it is the expression of that turning away from Paramatma. Yes, that is why we do satsang, bhajan, kirtan, shravan, manan, nitidhyasana. Daily we are doing satsang every single day from 7:30 to 9 o'clock. We've increased our time now until 9 o'clock. Why is that? Because there is mumukshutvam, there is desire to turn our vritti, our manovritti, our bhavna, our manovritti, our thoughts, feelings, emotions towards Bhagwan and Guru. Bhagwan or Bhagwan ke Sant. To give it, to turn this vritti towards Paramatma. That is called Sanmukh versus Vimukh. So this ahankar is existing to experience the material condition. And that's where the vasanas are. The vasanas, desires, endless number of experiences with endless number of bodies. How many bodies are there? According to Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam, 8.4 million species are categorized. And there probably are more than that also. We don't know. But that is how the Bhagavatam describes it. Even now, even in the biological sciences, new species are discovered every year. In the oceans or in other places. They never knew that they existed. Kahan se aaye sabhi? Where did they come from? That is by the will of Paramatma, Bhagavat Ichha. That the Jivatma is given those bodies to experience their vasanas, their karmas, their ahamvritti. What they want to experience, they are experiencing based on their karma. And also, it is a result of the karma. It's a very big technology, right? It's a super technology. So Bhagavan, that Parabrahma Tattva, Brahma Tattva, Bhagavat Tattva is residing as witness within each Jivatma. So within us, because who are we actually? Atma Tattva. And within that Atma Tattva is Paramatma. Yes. So that Paramatma is the giver of the fruit of action. Karma Phal Pradata. So there are actually three ways that Paramatma that exists within us is functioning within us, within all beings. Individuals who have no connection with Bhagavan, God is just giving them the fruit of their action. They have no awareness of what is Paramatma. They're living only based on these desires of the body, mind, senses, etc. That's it. Pashu Jivan, Pashu ka Jivan, basically. Like, maybe a little bit of dharma is there, some good action is there, that's all. The human body is there, but still most human beings live only at the animal level or less than animal level. They're not even at the human level. If they were at the human level, that would be something great. Even if they were at the animal level, that would be something good. Human being is not even at the animal level, it's at the lower than the animal level. By taking drugs and smoking and hurting each other. We're hurting each other. So we're not even at the animal level. If you ask an animal, the animal will say, you're not even at my level. You think you're something great. Pashu ke level bhi human being nahi hai. Because we kill our own species. Wars and weapons and all that. Animals don't kill their own species. Itna bhi intelligence manushya mein nahi hai. Think about that. तो कितना degradation है in one sense. In another sense, वो जो भगवान के जो संत है वो तो भगवान जैसे है. They're like God. इतना ऊपर, even though there's a human body, they're at the highest levels of consciousness. So in this human body, we can degrade all the way down or we can go all the way up towards Paramatma. It's up to us. That is the whole point, right? So Bhagwan jo hai, my point is, karma phal pradata. Whatever karma each jivatma does, he gives the fruit. The giver of the fruit of action, the creator of the fruit of action is Ishvara, Parabrahma, Bhagavan, residing in the heart of, residing in the Atma, residing in the, as witness within the Atma. Yasya Atma Shariram, Yasya Atma, Yasya Akshara Shariram. These are Upanishad ki Shruti hai ye. See this point very carefully. Karma phal pradata. Now, as in the human condition, we start following dharma, we have ethics, morality, we have a sense of conscience meaning what is right, what is wrong, all that. Now we are aware of, there's a more awareness of the Paramatma inside. That is called Sakshi. We're aware of that same Paramatma as Sakshi. And then the third level beyond that, when there is Akhanda Satsang, when the Ahankar has been completely turned over at the feet of Paramatma, Tanmayata. This is our subject today. That is where Bhagavan is no longer just Sakshi, uska Akhanda Anubhav hai. In Vachanamrut mein Maharaj kehte, iska meaning hai Akhand Dharak Sant, continuously holding Paramatma in every part of the body, mind, senses. Isko Akhand Dharak kehte hai in Gujarati. Akhand Dharak means to hold continuously without break, without any break in the connection towards Paramatma at all, not to break at all. That is called Akhand Dharak Sant. Aisi sthiti hai. Now, let's go back to this here. So that is the point here, that the Ahankar is fundamentally transformed. So it no longer stamps experiences as mine. What does that mean actually? What possibly does that mean? I mean, when we have experiences in life, we say, these are my experiences. Yes, that's true. They are our experiences. But the ahankar changes. But because it allows every perception, every experience we're having, our thoughts we're having, emotions, feelings, actions, to be transparent to that. What does that mean? That means that Bhagwan jo hai, there is a constant absorption in the presence of Paramatma. In every experience, one experience to another, one experience to another. This is how the bhakta is in that state of tanmayata. It's quite amazing. Let's look at three groundings here. So from the Vedanta perspective, in Advait Vedanta, liberation culminates in recognition that the Atman is non-different from Brahman. Who am I? Through the path of inquiry, through the path of Vedantic contemplation, I am Brahman, Tat Tvam Asi. In Tanmayata, this ontological truth is existentially tasted. Not merely I know that, but I am pervaded by that. That's the difference. It's a big difference, right? I can say I have an intellectual understanding that I am Brahman, or I am Atman, I am Sat Chit Ananda, etc. Okay, fine. But it goes beyond that. So when there is Jnana and Vairagya has opened up, when they open up beautifully from inside, I am pervaded by that. Let's look at that for a moment. What does that look like? Gyan kya hai? What is Jnana? I know these words we use all the time, but we should be clear what is meant by that, right? Jnani, one who is a Jnani, is a person who is perceiving Satyam. Satyam meaning that which is real. So this is in Vedanta now. This is Advait Vedanta, and we'll connect it with Bhakti also, because they are together. What is real versus that which is only temporarily real. So this is where Jnana and Vairagya, they bridge together. They are married together. They are hanging together. So Vairagya is a retraction out of the vortex of Raga and Dvesha. Raga is attractions, Dvesha is repulsion. This duality that is going on. To retract out of that or to rise above that is called Vairagya. It is beyond Raga and Dvesha. This is what is meant by it. Vairagya, I say it every time. It doesn't mean people sitting in some mountain somewhere with big beards and hats and all those kinds of things. That's not the definition of Vairagya. Vairagi Baba and all that. That's not the definition. We can all have Vairagya. Vairagya is needed in life. Vairagya doesn't mean running away from life. Vairagya means exactly where we are, to be beyond Raga and Dvesha. To not be stuck in the polar, in that continuum of attraction, repulsion, to be stuck inside there. There is a great stability, steadiness, and sthita pragnata that is called Vairagya. And Jnana is not just information. It is not simply information. Jnana is where there is Jnana is where there is the vision of Satyam beyond the temporary flux of the sansar, the flux of the names and forms. This is what Vedanta teaches us. The names and forms are dancing, they're changing constantly. But that which is not changing amidst all of that changing phenomena, that which is unchanging, that is the Nitya Tattva, that is the Sanatana Tattva, that is the Brahma Tattva, that is the pure consciousness. It never changes. It is Chinmaya. It is the enlivening power that is behind the names and forms, right? So this is called Jnana. So a Jnani is one who is no longer considering that the world is permanently real. See, because of our attachments inside, the vasanas inside, most human beings live as if this life is the only life, and everything is just whole and soul, out of fear, out of tension, out of this sharirik bhav, that somebody said this to me, this thing happened to me, all that kind of thing. A gnani is not stuck in that, lives in the world. Gnani is one whose vision has opened into the reality. That is called gnani. Gnani is not just intellectual information. इसको बोध कहते हैं, आत्मबोध. Shankaracharya ji has written a scripture called Atmabodh. Bodh means that from inside, from within the mind and the internal system, there is the greatest teaching that has opened up from inside. We said it before that the Guru opens from inside. That is called Atmabodh, Brahmabodh. It's not simply intellectual, a lot of scriptural references and all that thing. Wo to theek hai. Right, so there was a question somebody had. If you want to ask your question, go ahead. So what is Vairagya? Understand, let's break it down. That's the question, great question. Raga and Dvesha. Understand these two words first. Our senses are tuned because of the ahankara and vasanas and the material world into rag. Rag means attraction, wanting this. The experience of raga is there. So let's just say, for example, take an apple. Very simple example. A red, beautiful, wonderful apple. And Sachin puts it in the mouth, and starts chewing it. It's very sweet apple. It has a certain experience. Yes, that experience is there. So when my ahankara gets connected with the experience, it becomes raga, that I like this. The I that gets attached to the experience, that generates the memory, and then from there, that generates the ichha, the vasana for it again later on. It's a process. The experience is just the experience. So the raga comes about. Raga means the wanting of that experience, the ichha, the desire for that. That is called raga. So this is how our life goes. We are wanting the experience of objects, life circumstances that give us enjoyment and pleasure. Pleasure is there. Before we understand Vairagya, we have to understand this point very clearly. I'm glad you asked about it. Please do ask, because that will give me a chance to, explain this in more detail, talk about it in more detail. Yeah, obviously, if Sachin puts sugar in the mouth, you put sugar in the mouth, isn't it going to be sweet? Obviously. The experience of sweetness is there. We put chocolate in the mouth, chocolate candy in the mouth. Jo bhi hai. Gulab jam. I always like to use the gulab jamun, Example, sweet ball. You put the gulab jam in the mouth, made in a particular way, in a particular time. You put it, I like it. Where does that come from? Why is that experience there? That experience is there to give us it is an expression technically of the Jivatma's engulfment into Mahamaya. But it is the expression of that engulfment. It's a technical answer. Mahamaya is a great power of Paramatma. It is divine. Devi Yesha Gunamayi. Bhagwan Krishna says these 3 gunas of Maya are there, but the 3 gunas of Maya are within us. When Sachin holds a gulab jam and puts it inside the mouth, this is very tasty. This is very nice. Or it's some spicy dishes there. People order this vegetable biryani, right? Isn't it so? Or some kind of a spicy dish you like, made in a particular way. Maybe you make it at home. Maybe it's somebody's home or at a restaurant. You said, wow, this is. And then, that experience is either sattvic, rajasic, tamasic, or with some mixture of the 3. Now, let's be very clear. The experience is, who is having the experience? The Jivatma. Who is creating the experience? The Paramatma. Bhagwan himself or itself is creating the experience of those objects for the Jivatma. It's not somebody else creating it. It's Paramatma creating the three-dimensional experience for each Jivatma. And then in that experience, there is a sense, I like this. I, the Ahankar, in that experience. It's a projection system. This is a little technical answer. So before we understand Vairagya, you have to really understand these points first, step by step. Each Jivatma is given experience of this body, of the mind, of the vasanas inside that are hidden inside, and then the material world outside. It is a projection for each Jivatma. It doesn't actually exist. It is a project. It does exist in one sense, relatively, but it doesn't, because when you go into samadhi, the world disappears. So it's not really there. It's there, but it's not absolutely there. It is a projection created for each Jivatma, and each Jivatma's projection intersects with all the other. It's a massive programming. We talk about this computer programming. It is a massive, massive program. And as part of that program, this experience of raga is there for each Jivatma. The experience of raga is there. I like this. The ego comes about. I like this. And then there's the experience, I don't like this. And then everything in between. So the raga and dvesha means, this is terrible. If you take the same gulab jam, but it's got bacteria, spoiled, it's all old, it's got fungus. Yes, you look at this, you throw it away right away. Right? Isn't it so? Naturally. So raga has a purpose. It has a purpose so that our body, our mind, senses, everything, we interact within a certain range so that our mind remains healthy, body remains healthy. Raga also has a purpose. That sense that this is good for me, this is tasty, there's a lot of neurological science behind that. We cannot say that raga doesn't have any purpose or dvesha doesn't have any purpose. We cannot say that. But Vairagya, now we'll talk a little bit about Vairagya. Vairagya is where there is non-disturbance amidst the range of experience. This is the range of experience. One has to be aware of that. There is obviously, if I put sugar in my mouth, it's going to be sweet. If I put salt in my mouth, it's going to be salty. It's a different experience. Now, is there disturbance inside because of the experience? The disturbance would be, I like this gulab jam, but the gulab jam is not right. Little bit of something. It's not exactly the way I want it. I want it this way. I want the experience this way. Just hold on, just 1 second, and I'll get to you in just a moment. It's very interesting. I'll use myself as an example. Somebody has made a gulab jam for me, and then the temperature is not the right temperature. So, the right temperature meaning I have a desire that it should be this way. But remember, it's based on state of mind. ये बहुत psychology है इसमें. For example, if I am really happy and enjoying with lots of my friends and all that, right? Bubbling state of mind, and the gulab jam, whatever temperature it is, doesn't matter too much. My enjoyment is naturally there. ठीक है, चलेगा. Now, if the gulab jam is exactly the way I want it, if you feel like, wow, fantastic, like this, right? That's what the restaurants do. They try to make all the products so that people get the maximum enjoyment, and they make a lot of money out of it, hopefully. And then the quantity is less, the stimuli is high, and the money is good, and then they keep coming back again and again and again. Vasanas, all of the restaurant industry, as an example, they are the generators of vasana. That's their whole purpose. Their purpose is not to provide you with the best nutrition. Their purpose is that you keep coming back, so that they make a lot of money by getting stuck inside the vasana cycle because of the way that those substances are made. Most people will say, I can never make this at home this way. Of course not, because they are trained to tap into the stimuli of the human brain, of the taste buds and all that. You order gobi Manchurian, it's made 2 pieces of gobi, 2 pieces of potato, or all kinds of sauce and masala and this and that. You can take it, they charge you $15.99, $14.99. ये क्या है? You buy 2 or 3 you can buy 5 heads of cauliflower for $15. The point is, the raga is where we are lost. This is the point. All of humanity is trapped in mistaking the experience of raga for ananda, which it is not. Mistake is that. Of course, raga and dvesha, the likes and dislikes, the experiences themselves have a purpose. But then the likes and dislikes are also natural. Yeah, okay, this is tasty. This is not. The experiences are variegated. We have to select from that. But vairagya is where there is the opening beyond raga and dvesha. That yes, the food should be clean. It should be good. It should be fine. It is there. But my happiness is not based on the object. The happiness is naturally already present through bhakti, and from that bhakti, in the context of that bhakti, in the realm of that bhakti, this object is coming through the senses into the mind in the realm of bhakti. That's a difference. That's a massive difference. So the same gulab jam, I'll give you an example. I put it's assuming it's clean and assuming it's made okay. It's eatable, right? Fine. Then I put inside Sri Krishnaya Namaha, Shri Radhaya Namaha, Om Namah Shivaya. Bhagwan mein hi vritti rehti hai. So my ahankar is not present in that. The experience is there. But that anubhav is connected to Paramatma. That's the difference. So rather than saying, I am eating, Bhagwan Krishna himself says, offer everything to me and then eat. It's a technology. Patram pushpam phalam to. He says, offer everything, not just food, all experiences, all kriya. Offer it to Bhagwan and then engage in it. Isko kehte hain nirgun kriya. That is vairagya. That is vairagya. So vairagya is misunderstood by almost everybody, nearly everybody. Because this word has taken on meanings in the Hindu community in a very strange way. And that is not what people are thinking is Vairagi Baba and all that nonsense. That has nothing to do with Vairagya at all. Vairagya has to do with a realization of connecting the experiences with Bhagwan. That's Vairagya. It's not rejecting. If you have a gulab jam, how the gulab jam is going to bind you? Why is some object should bind you? Yeah, you have to have viveka. What to eat, what not to eat, what is healthy, not healthy. वो विवेक होना चाहिए. But to turn it into vairagya means that the object is there. Om Narayanaya Namaha. Om Krishnaya Namaha. Can we do that? Or simply Sachin is saying, I'm just eating it, like this because I'm just wanting to satisfy my hunger instinct. Hunger instinct is there. It doesn't matter. But even though the instinct is there, slow it down. Bhagwan ko yaad karna. Take the holy name. It's not easy to eat like that. We talked about it before sometime. To take each morsel, Ram, 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 Krishna, to have one vritti connected with Bhagwan. It's something magical happens in that. That is Vairagya. You see, Vishayam Nivartante. Yeah, excellent. So the question is as follows. Sachin has a gulab jam in the hand. Now what's going to happen here? Everybody's going to be running after gulab jam after our satsang today. So that's all right.
To feel Paramatma, we have to buy gulab jam.
You have to go and buy gulab jam. That's the only way it's going to work, right? So it's absolutely okay. Absolutely beautiful. See, so yes. You're exactly correct. A very keen observation. The anubhav is now at it is a dimensional jump. The same gulab jam that was within raga, dvesha, sattvagun, rajogun, etc. Now gulab jam is in front of me. I see it. Well, actually, even seeing it, that is considered to be Brahman. You're just seeing that. Oh, this is only another power of Bhagwan. Bhagwan ka hi swarup hai wo. Can we think about that? We have this shivling, right? We have shivling and all this. Can we see the gulab jam as a shivling? Has anybody ever tried to do that before? See the magic that happens. You say, how can I? वो पूज्य ही है, अन्न ही पूर्ण ब्रह्म.
Yeah, we do definitely look at food like God's prasad, right? Anyway, अगर आप उस स्थिति में आ गए, तो हर निवाला है every that we take, every bite is God's prasad nevedyam.
Yes, 100%. Exactly. So look at how this happens now. So when we are actually put inside the mouth, the experience is there, the vision is there, the smell is there, the taste is there. Yes, the experience is there. But that experience, this is called qualia in philosophy, Qualia, is the first person experience. This experience is directly linked to the holy name, to Bhagvat Nam, to the Swarup of Paramatma, rather than saying, I am the enjoyer. No, you are the enjoyer. See the difference. Kitna farak hai isme. Please, Devi ji, go ahead, please.
Hi, Namaskar. Yeah, I understand that, and I just want to make sure I understand right, because Maya, I'm seeing that Maya is a purpose, and without the Maya, we don't want to live, right? It's a Shunya Avastha. So Maya, we understand as a positivity, and through cut the Maya, and we can experience the Paramatma. So all the little things we experience as a Paramatma, and the Maya is also the God. That's why you're trying to say, correct?
Okay, so this is a great point. Is Maya God? Maya is the power of God. That's the difference. You see, so Bhagwan ki Shakti hai. Daivi Esha Gunamayi. Mama Maya. Bhagwan Krishna says, this is my power. And you are inside that power. You see, so the experience of the raga, dvesha, aham, mamatva, different species, ye sab jagat hai, all of this experience is there. वो भगवान की ही शक्ति है. Understand? But the difference is we are stuck inside that shakti.
Okay.
So it is not a disrespect for that shakti. On the contrary, it is to understand its power, its binding power. कि भगवान की शक्ति क्या चमत्कारी शक्ति है. That even a gulab jam, I can see a gulab jam, I can taste it, I can hold it. How this is possible? Even nobody knows the answer to this question in neurology or philosophy. Even today, nobody has any answer where this comes from actually. You see, so भगवान की अलौकिक शक्ति है. So in that situation, it is realizing that am I getting bound in this, my own vasanas, desires, etc.? Or I can take this, I can use the gulab jam experience, any experience, jalebi, gulab jam, whatever we're eating, drinking, walking, jo bhi anubhav hai, use that experience to connect with Bhagvat Tattva, with Paramatma. Maya doesn't become an issue at all. In fact, Maya is not the problem. Ever. People think it's a Maya, hey, this is problem, that problem. That's never the problem, actually. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Maya is not the problem. The problem is our ahankar mistaking the experiences for ananda, which it is not. And that is Maya. It is a mistake. It is a mistaken perception. Devi ji, yes, you want to say something. You have to unmute, please. You have to unmute. Yes.
So that means to say Vairagya is the freedom from three gunas of Maya?
Of course, absolutely. Absolutely. It is a freedom that is ananda. Vairagya actually, it is infused with ananda. That is the bridge between, see, bhakti and vairagya, they are mixed all four mixed together. Dharma, Gyan, Vairagya, Bhakti, they are all, isko hum, in Gujarati there's a bhajan, Dharma, Gyan, Vairagya, Bhakti nu churan karelu che. Churan is like a ball, that is all mixed together, right? They are all combined together. And so when they combine together, that is what leads to the realization that Aham Brahmasmi, Krishna Dasosmi. It's a realization of the Brahman and Parabrahman. Atma Paramatma ka gyan hota hai isme.
So everyday gratitude will enhance.
Obviously, that's a very minor, gratitude has to be there. But we're talking about even more than that. Yes.
Is all because of the God given gifts to us.
There's no exactly every single experience in life, every single moment is created by Paramatma for each Jivatma as a three-dimensional projection. ये जो संसार जो दिखता है ना, it's a projection. It is a projecting system of consciousness. It's not actually there. It's there, but it's not there. That's the difference. And that is Devi. See, Srinivas is showing us this beautiful Murti of Devi. Devi kaun hai? She is the one, that Mahashakti, that is the Devi Maya. She is projecting this for all the Jivatma. हाँ, बहुत ही कितनी अद्भुत बात है वो. Okay, is there more question, comment? Please go ahead.
Yeah. So when you say कि ये experience नहीं, we should not, we should devote the experience of eating a gulab jam, suppose any food, to God, परमात्मा को अर्पण करके खाएं. But since we have been given the tongue, the sensories, right, इंद्रिय, तो
Yes.
the jiva is gonna experience
Yes.
anyway, even
Yes.
आप detached रहो चाहे नहीं रहो, the jeeb, the tongue is gonna experience it, like, and it is gonna register in your mind कि okay ये अच्छा है या बुरा है, like, you know, it
Yes.
is a direct reporting to the mind.
Yes.
Anyway,
Yes. That's correct.
so
Go ahead.
then how, so वो उसको जितना कम, if you want to keep in the at the mildest form, that means we need to be in the sattva gun all the time.
Okay, so yes, there are several points here. So when we are actually having the experience is called urmi. It is a wave. There's a beginning, there's a middle, and there's an end to the experience of the object. It could be a conversation with someone. It could be a gulab jam you're having. Could be having a glass of water. It could be anything, right? It is called urmi. It is a wave. So in the wave of experience, when we recognize the wave as an expression of Divya Shakti, there's no binding in that at all. You follow this point?
Even that is
It's hard.
no?
It's not hard. There's nothing hard about it. So it's a matter of simply being aware that this is a wave. It's a wave of experience. It has a beginning, it has a middle, it has an end, and because of that, it is an experience. The anubhav. The ahankar is such, it's getting bound inside that experience, and then it gets stuck inside. That's called vasana. That experience is just an experience. Why should we be bound inside? But the ahankar gets lost in, I like this, I like this, I like this. We like it. Okay, even if you like it, so what? But then what? Then there is this repetition of desire. I want that again and again and again. That is called vasana, as opposed to bhakti. The difference between vasana and bhakti is not about the experience. The difference is about the aham bhav in the experience. You see, that's the difference. The gulab jam is still the gulab jam, but if I'm holding it and saying Om Narayana Namah with love, with glory, with all kinds of bhakti bhav, kitna, that is called prasadam. इसीलिए in the temples, when we actually offer the food items and then we get it back, इसको प्रसाद कहते हैं. Why? And then it is distributed to everybody. That's the other point. To get out of that aham vritti. Prasada, it doesn't discriminate. When prasadam is distributed, it is distributed to everybody. Otherwise, it is not prasadam. How can it be called prasadam if it's not distributed to everybody? Anybody who comes into any temple, any place where prasadam is offered, nobody is turned away ever. Anybody have you ever seen that? Anybody's ever turned away? कभी भी नहीं. भगवान को ऑफर कर दिया है, and that it is distributed to all. Why it is called prasadam? Prasadam meaning it is sanctified, it is holy. Why is that? So that each human being, each person can take that with so much love and affection. इसमें कोई अहंकार का transaction ही नहीं है. कितनी अद्भुत बात है. If human beings realize this, we become liberated. All the conflicts disappear. Just this simple concept. इतना simple concept है. Conflicts in the family disappear. Extended family disappear. Make all the food that we want to make, offer it to Bhagwan and tell everyone, ye Bhagwan ka prasad hai. See it yourself. When we are eating, prasadam adhigachyati. There's a verse, this word prasad is in the Gita, by the way. It's amazing shabd hai. It's a tremendous thing, it is so beautiful, because when we are eating it, the difference is the ahankar is not active in that. There is, वो जो अनुभव है वो भगवान की परम कृपा से ये अनुभव मिलता है. कितनी कृपा है that this body is functioning well, that the tongue is functioning well. ये अनुभव वो दे रहे हैं. Isn't that something incredible? It's tremendous. That is why Bhagwan Krishna, if you go into this further, the whole Vibhuti Yoga is about this actually. That the topmost experiences are all Vibhutis. But that's another more advanced subject. This is still very basic level stuff actually. Does it make sense now? You see how Vairagya functions here. Vairagya is simply, there's a natural, इसमें natural आनंद है. There's a natural steadiness. Gulab Jam is little bit temperature, this temperature, that thing, koi baat nahi. As long as it is not contempt, even if something is not contempt, there's the anger doesn't come, koi baat nahi. Put it away. That viveka has to be there. People get angry towards, vitarag bhaya krodh, rag bhay krodh. Nahi, is sab nahi hota, bilkul, not at all. Not at all. To harm, I'll give you another example. To use language because the food is not made exactly the way we want it towards a family member, towards somebody, in a harmful way. कितना damage होता है इसमें. One sentence spoken can destroy a lifelong relationship. One sentence, one word even. Lifelong relationship, खलास, totally. कितनी शक्ति है शब्द में. This is why Vairagya is needed. Thank you for asking about this. बाकी तो ये सब चलता ही, it goes on, exposition. But if you ask about it, you see what is involved in it. These are very profound ideas, but very practical, very meaningful. There's another aspect to this, like when we hear anything we're hearing from anybody. In Vairagya, in Gujarati, in our satsang, we say, Shabda Akash no bhag samajvo. You know what that means? It is just a sound. Don't internalize these things from outside. Be aware of them. Recognize them. It's going to be in the memory. Be completely free from the reaction of the sounds we hear. The only sounds that we don't want to be free of are Paravani, Bhagwan ke shabd. Bhagwan or Bhagwan ke jo Sant ke jo shabd hai, we want to really absorb them. Everything else, have equanimity. क्या बात है, कैसा जीवन. दिस इज, इसको मुक्त स्थिति कहते हैं. बाकी तो सब चलता है ऐसा ही सब संसार is going to go on the way it is, but who has that tenacity to say we're going to live this way. भगवान को पुष्प अर्पण करना, संतों को पुष्प अर्पण करना, or decide to live this way and see what happens, see the magic that happens. क्या it will transform. Go ahead please. Yes, go ahead Sucheta. Yes.
So use all the experiences. You said what should we do with the experiences? We should put it in the feet of God.
Yes, every experience, absolutely. Every experience is coming. Actually, every experience is coming from Paramatma. It's not happening just like that. For example, right now we have 6-7 people online, and Srinivas is showing some beautiful murtis, and he's in the temple actually. He's a great devotee, तो बहुत ही सुंदर. तो ये सब अनुभव कहाँ से आ रहा है? Who is creating this experience right now? हमारा अहंकार, Sachin's ahankar will say, okay, I'm on Zoom, I'm the one, I'm doing this. No, wrong. ये अनुभव हो रहा है, ये सत्संग की बात हो रही है, भगवान का दर्शन हो रहा है, आप सबके दर्शन हो रहे हैं. Who is doing that? वो भगवान कर रहे हैं, not me. The me is just being used by Paramatma. When we tune into that faith, that shraddha, then there is no binding of this ahankar. Otherwise, what can happen? Sachin right now spoke for 45, almost 51 minutes right now, let's say. 45 minutes, so 50, let's say 52 minutes. And then after this is done, we do the closing mantra. 2 minutes later, Sachin, look at me, look at how wonderfully I talked about it. Kitna. The moment, even if that comes into the picture, whole इसका जो आध्यात्मिक रियल कनेक्शन भगवान के साथ टूट जाता है. It breaks. In me, it will break right away. Forget about anybody else. I'm not even looking at anybody else. I have to see it कि मेरे अंतर में break हो रहा है कि नहीं. You know, it's crazy stuff actually how this ahankar works. Somebody makes one small negative forget about comment. Somebody looks at us in some with a little bit of a little negative face. We get so agitated. Why the person looked at me? He said he's not looking at you. God is looking at you and you're looking at God. You forget about that thing. Bhairava is looking at you. Think about it that way. Bhairava is that angry face, you know. You know? Yeah. But ऐसी दृष्टि, once we can open this vision, तो आनंद ही है. कि कितना महा आनंद है इसमें. It is a divine joy only.
So basically जो अपने इंद्रिय हैं सारे, the indriyas, right?
Yes.
जो taste buds हैं या सुनते हैं या whatever.
All five senses.
So if you eat like a tikha mirchi, green chili.
Yes.
The experience is going to be there. It's going to hurt, but you have to understand that it's only a physical experience.
Yes. It's a wave. It's a wave. Remember, it's a wave. Yeah. This word is very important. Urmi. I will talk about Shankaracharya Ji's teachings on this. It is a urmi. Urmi means it has a beginning. But the ahankar grabs hold of that anubhav that Bhagwan is.
Want it or reject it.
Yeah. Well, wanting. I mean, even if there's a purpose for wanting it in terms of health, in terms of the body and all that, up to that extent. Yeah. But when it says, I like it and I want more of it, appetite for it, I want more. Then one gets let me put it to you this way. There's a difference between allowing the wave of the experience to continue as it is in a limited, healthy way versus running after that experience. Running after that experience is raga, allowing it to come and go without any kind of entanglement within it. That is vairagya.
Basically, every experience we have to think as temporary.
Of course it is. Everything is temporary.
So we don't get attached to it, so that it's much easier to...
You don't get lost in it that this is the whole in soul. No, it is not the whole in soul. It has a limited purpose, short and sweet. You know how they say, short and sweet. That is the viveka. It's like, for example, how much conversation to have with another person. Sachin, I'm myself trying to watch out for this thing. You know, we have tendency to talk way too much, right? So try to cut it down. Try to recognize in the right context how much to speak, what to speak, with what how to speak. Everything that is viveka in the three-dimensional reality, so that we do not get lost and also do not create trouble for others. You see, so that viveka has to be there, so that it is the art of remaining free. This is what we've been saying. Main mukta hu, main divya hu, may not this ahankar, the tattva, that the state is divine and free. Absolutely. And there is a tattvic realization that jo bhi anubhav ho rahe जीवन में, who is creating that anubhav? कौन बनाते? भगवान बनाते हैं. We don't realize this thing. God is the creator of the Jagrat, Swapna and Shushupti Avastha. It's a very profound subject. How that Swapna Avastha is created, Jagrat Avastha, there's a lot of technical process behind that. It's some other time, it's more advanced than what we're talking about even here. About Virat Narayan. Virat Purush jo hai, Brahma, Vishnu, Shiv is part of that Virat Purush. और उनकी कृपा से उनकी जो तीन अवस्था है, जागृत, स्वप्न, सुषुप्ति, उसमें हमारी अवस्था है, वो सब आगे की बात. Leave that subject alone for now. But that's where that comes from. It doesn't happen just like that. It's a great miracle that we even have any experience in life. ठीक है? Other comments. I hope this is clear. Raga, dvesha kya hai? And vairagya kya hai? And this link with urmi. See, these are words. Urmi is wave. There are 6 urmis actually. Shad urmi. So hunger, thirst, infatuation, birth, death, and there's one more. There's 6 urmis. It's called Shad urmi. और जो भगवान के जो मुक्त है श्वेत द्वीप धाम है, वासुदेव नारायण का धाम है, उसमें जो मुक्त है, they don't have these 6 urmis. That's another very super advanced subject. You can see how this is where this confusion happens, because acharyas have spoken at different levels. And this is where the confusion happens. Some of the language is at the very height of realization. Some of it is absolutely at the very base level, and everything in between. And it's all mixed together, and that's where the confusion comes about.
Exactly. It is confusing at times.
Yeah, but it can be sorted out. There's nothing to be confused about, because you just have to remember. Let me just close with this today. If you have somebody in 7th grade studying mathematics, and all of a sudden all of the math books are placed in front of that person, algebra 1, algebra 2, geometry, trigonometry, calculus 1, 2, 3, differential equations, all the way up to post, everything is placed in front. They say, you figure this thing out. The person will say, my God, aisi situation hai. All these scriptures, all these paramparas, everything has been placed in front of us. No, it has to be carefully unpacked. Carefully. It takes time. It's not going to happen just like that. These questions all of you are asking are very important. Please ask them. That'll be more useful than simply my talking about these things. Okay, anything else before we sign off today? Now, remember, there's one more announcement I do have. We have our Angel Wing retreat this Saturday. So this Saturday we will not have online satsang, simply because I have to go early in the morning at the retreat center. But I'll still try to make a recording at some point. I don't want to break the link. Don't want the link to be broken on this. So that is there. Otherwise, same timing is there rest of this week, next week, etc. Is there anything else anybody has? That's it. Beautiful. Keep it up.
Thank you.
Go and get some gulab jam now. That's the most important thing.
Yes. Now we know how to treat a gulab jam.
The gulab jam ek Bhagwan ki krupa hai. That's what it is, Yes, that's right. That's what it is. All right, have fun.
But how do you, when you say Bhagwan ki kripa hai gulab jamun, but sometimes it may hurt your body.
Yeah, so that is the viveka. Just because all the objects are there, we have to decide what is the health, what is needed for the health of the body, right? So that viveka has to be there with the objects of the senses. Just because, see, it's like this: you pay $24.99 to go to a buffet that has 500 items. My God, 500 items! You're not going to eat 500 items. You have to choose from there what you want. Maybe you have 1 plate, 2 plates, maybe 3 plates full, or pet bhar gaya. That's it. It's like that. It's choosing what is going to suit us at the relative level, but not losing sight of the absolute consciousness. That is Jivan Mukta. That is Jiva.
Work on Vivek and Vairagya all the time.
Absolutely. You can work on it, but you can also simply say, "Main Viveki hi hu." Stay with it. That is who I am. So that it continues to grow and develop beautifully. And the immediate, let's just one more thing. Immediate anubhav kya hai? Antar mein bahut shanti hai. Purna shanti. Number 1 anubhav. Number 2 anubhav. Kisi ke saath conflict hi nahi rehta. Number 2 anubhav. Number 3 anubhav. In Gujarati we say khech taan mati jaye. The objects of the senses, whatever is there, koi baat nahi. We become, in Gujarati we say jevu tevu jem male tem chalavi levu. That means whatever comes, it's okay. This constant anger and I have to have this and I have to have this. Yes, nahi. It all settles down because you have tapped into ananda. See, Jnana and Vairagya is what we're talking about right now, but that is the base for the ananda. तो वो भगवान के साथ संबंध जोड़ना. ज्ञान and vairagya by themselves are not going to mean anything. It'll just be like, okay, I have ज्ञान and vairagya. अभी क्या? No, you have to attach towards Paramatma. Right? The tripod. Dharma, Jnana, Vairagya is the tripod. On top of that is the bhakti. अब बस आप सबका आशीर्वाद है. Your blessings are there. Otherwise, this would not be possible. आप में सब परमात्मा का वास है. That's why this is happening. Otherwise, it would never happen. It's by the divine will. So that's it. Anything else?
Yeah.
That's it? Okay, we'll pick it up tomorrow then.
Beautiful. Thank you, Sachin.
Okay, namaskar, everybody. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye-bye.